Good afternoon and welcome to a webinar on widening your circle of friends. My name is Jackie Doherty. I'm the Director of Education Outreach for the ARC of Massachusetts. Before we begin, I'd like to take a minute to thank our donors and organizational sponsors whose generous contributions make our work possible. And now for a few housekeeping items. I think we're going to put that slide up. Yep, there it is. Those are our organizational sponsors, and their contributions make our work possible. So we want to give a shout out of thanks to them. And a few housekeeping items. The webinar is being recorded and will be posted with captions on the ARC's YouTube channel. You will also receive a copy of the PowerPoint. If you have any questions during the presentation, please put them in the chat. I'll be monitoring the chat throughout the presentation, and we're going to leave time for discussion at the end. Today's webinar is about making friends and connecting with people in your community. We are pleased to have presenter Jonathan Spiller here to join us and share some of his experiences about connecting with your community. Jonathan is a self-advocate, photographer, and poet. He'll give us some specific strategies for meeting people in your neighborhood. Welcome, Jonathan, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jackie.
I'm just getting the PowerPoint up there.
No problem.
Today's PowerPoint is connecting to your community.
You gonna introduce yourself, Jonathan?
As Jackie mentioned, my name is Jonathan Spiller, and I work for the Pathways to Friendship program at ArcMass, and thanks to my colleague Rachel for help for quicken the PowerPoint.
And Jonathan, did you want to find out who is in the audience?
For the audience, can you please type in the chat whether your staff or family members or parents or people with disabilities? A few thank you to everyone that typed in the chat. I know Jackie, I know that you'll be reading the chat.
Yep. So we have a bunch of family members, parents, professionals.
Welcome everyone. As I mentioned, I work for the Pathways to Friendship program. Here is a little bit about Pathways to Friendship. It is a partnership between DDS and the ARC of Mass. Our goal is to support meaningful friendships between people with and without disabilities. Here is an overview of the presentation. Introduction, making and deepening local connections, friendship story, positive impact of local connections, lessons and advice, community connections, worksheet, Q&A, and after this presentation, we would greatly appreciate if everyone can please complete a survey. There'll be a QR code. Who am I? As Jackie mentioned, my name is Jonathan Spiller, and I am a self-advocate, Pathways to Friendship presenter, song and poetry writer, published author, nature photographer, son, brother, and boyfriend, and resident of Arlington. Today, I'm going to talk about how to make connections in your community. I would do this by sharing lessons from my own experiences. My community, Arlington, Mass. I moved to Arlington in 2018. Before then, I was living in an apartment in Watertown for about 7 years. When I first moved to Arlington, I was anxious because I didn't know anyone. Now it is great. I make more and more connections every day. I am friends with local business owners and am a regular at many local restaurants. My Aunt Rachel and friends call me the mayor of Arlington. On this slide, I'll be talking about the importance of local connections. I have friends in other areas, but it's nice to have friends close by. I can stop by and say hello anytime. My parents, sister, and girlfriend don't live nearby, so local friends stop me from feeling lonely and can help me quickly if I'm in a jam. On this slide, I'll be talking about how I initially made connections. Community mapping, which means take a few days to walk around your community and get to know the people that are there. A few days after I moved to Arlington, I started walking around and took notice of local businesses and restaurants. I introduced myself and explained that I just moved to the area and that I would be supporting them. The business owners and employees introduced themselves to me, and I felt welcome in Arlington. Another strategy is becoming a regular. I would go to the same restaurants every week on the same days and times and ask for the same service. Other times, I would sit at the bar. This helped me to meet people and become recognized by both employees and other regular customers. Another good strategy is developing a social network. My new Arlington friends introduced me to their friends and families. They invited me to meals and parties where I met more people. I was recognized for my posts on the Arlington Facebook page, and people reached out to me when they saw me on the street. On this slide, I'll be talking about growing connections into friendship. Appreciation and give and take. True friendships are a two-way street. I write thank you notes and create drawings of my friends. I give 5-star reviews when I like their service. My presence is appreciated and they let me know. We remember and celebrate important dates like each other's birthdays. Get together outside of their business venues. We set up times to see each other on a regular basis. We get together outside of their business venues. We go to lunch, sports games, and other events. Dig in deeper. Our interactions go beyond business. We talk about and ask after each other's families and other important topics. Now, on the last few slides, I share with you some strategies about making friends. Now I would like to ask everyone a question. Please type in the chat. What are some ways you have made friends?
At work is one offer we got so far. At church, at school, online, through other friends, meeting new coworkers, people at volunteer opportunities, participating in community and fraternal groups at the library, at the Dayhab program, in my neighborhood, community, at work, social events for neurodiverse. Those are
Thank,
some of the
thank you,
suggestions.
everyone.
School and volunteering.
Wow. Now I'm going to share an Arlington friendship story. To put together all that I just spoke about, I want to share a story about a friend that I made in my Arlington community. Ed, my Baba, Jonathan and Ed. For a Hanukkah present, a friend of mine paid for a new haircut and beard trim for me from a local barber named Ed. Right when I first met him, I knew we were going to be friends. While he was cutting my hair, we were discussing how I was new to the area and all the different places I was exploring and the new people I was meeting. After asking me for permission, Ed took pictures of my haircut and posted it on his Facebook and Instagram accounts. I wrote him a great review saying how kind he was and that he gives a wonderful haircut and beard trim. The next time I came in for a cut, Ed took me out to the town. Ed took me to lunch at the town tavern. He introduced me to the owner and the employees of the restaurant. I enjoyed this a lot. I got to know Ed better, and then he introduced me to his family too. We have gone to all sorts of games. I won Celtic Street tickets from Kiss 108 and took 19 of my friends and their families, including Ed and his family. We had a blast. Ed gives me advice. He tells me to not worry about things and encourages me to always be myself and not to let other people put me down. He is also very supportive. He and his family have gone to photo shows of mine and exhibits, and they have bought my framed photos. Ed and his family have become an important and regular part of my life. They took me out to dinner for my birthday and gave me gifts. I now get my haircut once a month, and Ed often takes me out to breakfast after. Now I'm going to share some lessons and advice and tips and tricks. Here was a good strategy. Be safe when meeting new people. Don't tell personal information like where you live. Meet in a public place where others are around. Get to know the person over time. Always carry a phone with you. Trust your gut. If you feel uncomfortable, then excuse yourself and call someone that you trust. There is a risk to everything in life, but making new friends is worth it. Here was another good strategy. Do community mapping to find out where to meet people who share your interest. Take a walk and see what's in your neighborhood. Notice places when you go to the bank, grocery store, gym, or work. Read the newspaper or research your community on the internet. Here is another great strategy. People make friends when they share an interest and interact regularly. Find something you enjoy, meet people there, and go back often. I love restaurants, and they are a big way that I have met people. I go to them all the time. Another great strategy is introduce yourself. Take that first step and introduce yourself to someone new. You don't have to tell everything about yourself the first time you meet someone. Start by saying your name. Remember it takes time to get to know new people. Another great strategy, invite to do something. Once you have met the person a few times, invite them to do something with you. Think of an activity. Maybe you want to ask them to get a coffee or meet up at a music event. If you find it hard to do for asking yourself, a family member, staff, or another friend could help with asking. On the last few slides, I share with you strategies and tips and tricks on making friends. Now let's work on this exercise together. Maximizing community connections. And in these two scenarios, what could be done to improve the chances of developing friendships? Let's start with the first one. Volunteering to walk dogs at your local shelter. Please type in the chat what could be done to improve the chances of developing friendships. Rachel, please help.
I'm just looking to see what's coming in.
Oh.
I think people are just typing, Jonathan.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, people are typing now.
Walk with another volunteer. Talk to volunteers. You know you have a love of dogs, so that's something you have in common. Walk the dogs in a park where other people are walking dogs. Introduce yourself to others. Ask questions to other volunteers. Talk about how much you like dogs. Volunteer at the same time so you become a regular with other people who go at that time. Seek volunteers. Ask a friend if they're also interested in walking dogs.
Thanks, everyone. Yep. Volunteering regularly on the same days/times. Team up with other volunteers. Walk together. Carpool. Walk dogs in the community, such as dog parks, and not just on the shelter property. But what about working out at a local fitness center twice a week? What could be done to improve the chances of developing friendships.
Okay, we'll just give it a second to get some answers. Join a group class. Go to the gym on the same days and times. Ask a friend to join you at the gym. Invite a friend to go to the gym with you. Find the time when the gym may be the busiest so you can see more people and make connections with more people. Help someone out if you notice they need help.
Thanks, everyone. A lot of great answers. Yep, same days and times, same fitness class or classes weekly, saying hello to other regulars. On this slide, I'll be talking about the positive impact of community connections in my life. I live alone, but I don't feel lonely. I have a reason to go outside, even if it's raining. Otherwise, I might stay inside and be bored and not move my body. I give an inside scoop about upcoming events and am invited to them. I get perks and rewards and try new things. I have places to display my photography and share my work. I give and receive advice, support, and encouragement from my local friends. Now, I would like to end with this quote. I would rather walk with a friend in the dark than alone in the light. Helen Keller. Any questions?
So we don't have to write in the chat. If you want to make a comment or share an idea, you can just raise your hand. Diane?
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi,
Great
Diane.
presentation. Thank you so much. I'm curious to know how you met your girlfriend.
Oh, I met her in, at a Jewish a Jewish group, New England Yacht.
Jonathan, do you want to mention your book too?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Me in April 12, 2023. Me and my girlfriend, we published a book. It's called Special Soulmates, a true love story. It's available on Amazon. Yes, Diane bought it.
A little commercial for you, Jonathan.
So we've got some comments. Shelley says, these are great tips. Looking forward to discussing them with our family. And Deborah says she's looking for activities to do. And Anne-Marie wants to know, were you shy at first? My son prefers to be alone and hoping to help him overcome his shyness. Were you shy at all, and how did you overcome your shyness? Or if that was the case.
Well, I was a widow shy, but actually, by doing a lot of these presentations, ArcMass Pathways to Friendship program helped me not be shy. When I first started, when I first started doing these presentations, like teaching people about friendship, and I made a lot of new friends after after giving tips to a lot of people about different strategies on making friends. I I followed those exact tips that I've been teaching people.
So Drew wants to know, how do you start a conversation with someone you're interested in talking to? So you see somebody you're interested in talking to, how would you start a conversation with that person?
Well, if you if it's someone from your work, or someplace where you volunteer, maybe say hi, how are you? I was wondering, are you interested? There's a new movie that's coming out soon. Would you like to go to a movie with me, or 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 do another activity that we're both interested in?
So Yona wants to know, what advice do you have for people who spend so much money on dating apps and get disappointed in the end? That's a tough one.
Well, don't spend money on dating apps. Like, maybe maybe some friends of yours maybe they know people that are interested in dating, or um maybe a place where you volunteer, or um or people in your community, maybe they know people that are interested in dating, that share the same interest as you do. Don't use the dating apps.
Right. A lot of it is about finding people that share interests, whether it's volunteering or different activities. Rachel?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. Jonathan, first of all, wonderful job as always. But just to comment that if everybody noticed that with Jonathan, he didn't go to any specialized programs in order to meet people. And in our line of work, we talk a lot about exploring the ordinary. So it's, if you move to a new area, how would you meet people? And sort of taking the same approach when it comes to people with disabilities, right? So Jonathan is brilliant at that, just exploring what his interests are and where he can find them in his community. And those same things, the same way that you would introduce yourself to someone is how he would. So I think he really highlights how important that is.
And I want to give a shout out. We have a group of recent graduates from Randolph High School that are on. They introduced themselves, and I didn't catch it in the earlier welcome. And they said they're neurodiverse young adults and looking to make friends. So thank you, Jonathan, for the presentation. I don't know if there's we've got a couple of thank yous in there that people have to jump off. If there's anything else you wanted to include, Jonathan.
We have our survey, which would be helpful.
Yes.
If you have QR code, or I can put it in the chat too.
Why don't you throw it in the chat too, so we'll have it both places.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna reduce this for a minute so I can get it, and then I'll put it in the chat. Okay. I mean, Jonathan has so many stories about the friends that he's made in his community. Yeah. Let me put that in the chat.
Got it. It's in there.
And I don't know, Jackie, if you want, Jonathan has a friendship story. This is not just from Arlington, this is from way back when. If that's something you want us to share with everyone.
Well, we have a few minutes. Why not?
Okay,
Yeah, that'll be great.
okay, give me 1 minute.
Yes. Oh, the joy.
The joy one.
Oh, yes.
Give me 1 second and I will.
Oh, and I have, Amanda would like to see the QR code again. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
a
okay.
challenge to
No,
put that back.
No, I can do that. I just can't do that and share the video at the same time, but I can do, let me get the QR code.
Yes.
Um, And then I'll share the video.
Yeah.
Larger there. And Jonathan, are you happy to do this type of training in general? Do you want to just take a minute to talk about what work you do with Pathways?
I enjoy working with the Pathways to Friendship program. I enjoy. I've spoken at different schools, talked to kids about my disabilities. I've did this family leadership series. Well, me and Rachel on November 15th, we talked to parents about strategies that kids can use for making friends. And then there's the youth leadership series. I did a presentation at Emerson College. I think it was last June, and I hope this. I love doing a community connections. The presentation that I did today. I hope I get more opportunities to do that. Maybe if everyone, maybe if you have connections, then you could email Rachel and Jackie.
Great. All right, I'm going to share. There's another great video of Jonathan and a friend, his from way back when.
Me enjoy met and for do a grade at Glenwood.
I'm sorry, that's the one without captions. Give me 1 minute. I'll just pull up the correct one. There's one with captions on it. Jonathan, okay, there's the right one.
Yeah.
There.
Me enjoy met and for do a grade at Glenwood Elementary School.
Because I was new and I didn't know anyone, and I was looking for someone who I thought was going to be kind and easy to talk to and get along with. And that's Jonathan. He's just a good, friendly person.
Joy moved to North Widening at the end of 5th grade. 4 or 5 years we lost touch. I never gave up searching for her. I would look on the white pages on the website. And finally, I found her mother's number. I called her one day, and her mother was surprised when I said, "This is Jonathan Spiller, and please tell Joy that I called." She was very happy to give Joy the message, and then Joy called me, and we got back in touch.
Yeah, I remember when my mom said to me, she goes, "Guess who called you today?" And when she said Jonathan Spiller, I was blown away. I wasn't expecting that answer. And I was so happy that you reached out, and we've been in touch ever since. We talk probably every day now. We do try to get together for lunch when we can. I feel like more often than not, we just get to chat about our everyday lives. And, you know, we always fill each other in when something happens, or if we're worried about something or stressed about something, or if we're happy and excited about something. And just the most important thing to him is that we maintain a good friendship, which is very important to me.
Sometimes I have hard days, and Joy gives me advice about different things. She gives me encouragement. Her friendship is a very important part of my life.
I think that it's really rare that you have a friendship that's, you know, 30 years long, and the fact that we've never had a fight, and we've only ever been supportive to each other, and we even had that long gap of not talking with each other, and we were able to pick up where we left off. It's a true friendship where we really cherish each other for who we are. It's important to always be able to have that person to be able to go to, who you know will always be positive and have your back and support you and bring you up.
This friendship will keep on growing and growing for many more years.
But Jonathan, I actually had a question for you. I would call you an extrovert. I think that's fair to say. What advice do you have for people who maybe are not as extroverted, maybe those who aren't as comfortable going up to people and talking to them? Do you have advice for how they could make friends?
Oh yeah, if you're not comfortable just going up to someone, maybe maybe you could type up a letter, like what you want to say, and give it to the person that you want to get together with, or what if you have a one of your good friends or family or staff members can help you out.
Good advice. Thank you.
Well, I don't see any more questions or comments in the chat, so I want to just take this opportunity to thank our sponsors again, and special thanks to you, Jonathan and Rachel, and for all of you for spending time with us today. We all know how important friendships are to really enrich our lives. So I think there was a lot that Jonathan shared with us today, some very simple tips about how we can start to connect more with people in our communities. I don't know if anything else, anyone has anything else, but that would be my closing. Lots of thank yous from the chat. Great presentation. Thank you all.